I'm still. That is the intro. It touched me. It's on my wrist. You just did a real life spit take.
Sorry.
You did a real life. I've never seen a real life spit take in my life. Can we take a minute?
I'm Wiza.
I'm Nada.
This is the Two Keys in a Podcast.
Is that lame? I feel like that was lame as fuck.
Welcome back to the Two Keys in a Podcast.
Today it's 3.
Today it's 3 keys in a podcast.
Oh yeah, word. We are your humble hosts, Wiza and Nada, and we are joined by a special guest, a very special guest, if you will.
She doesn't
Samihah.
do anything real estate related, but she is.
She's just a pretty face, and she wanted to show it off today. So Samihah, welcome. Woo! Okay, so if you guys if you guys aren't familiar with Samihah, you clearly don't watch our podcast because, in addition to real estate topics, we also like to, banter, whatever, tell some stories, and Samihah is often included in a lot of the ridiculous stories.
The butt of the joke.
I'm always the butt of the joke.
We tell. So she's here. She's finally here. Mm-hmm. She actually lives in Vancouver.
I do live in Vancouver.
How's Vancouver?
It was great. Nada would know until she left me and
Period.
then came here for real estate.
Yes. Yeah, so Nada and Samihah are actually friends from Vancouver. Mm-hmm. Nada moved to Calgary
3 years ago?
4 years
it was
ago?
like 4 years ago now. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we are friends of friends, but friends nonetheless.
Yes.
Yeah. So for today's episode, what we're basically doing is we're taking Samihah because she knows, even though she's been my friend for so long, she knows absolutely nothing about home buying, mortgages. So we're going to do a segment called First Time Home Buyers for Dummies.
Yeah.
We love you.
So basically, I've been friends with Nada for so long, and all she does is talk about real estate stuff. She moved here, and I was like, why are you moving here? She's like, oh, it's like great infrastructure. I don't know what that means. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there, an untapped market.
Period.
Of people like me who want to like buy. I mean, living in Vancouver, you're always renting.
Yeah.
But eventually you want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, for me, I might move to Calgary because of my personal life and everything. Mm-hmm. So seems like it's not as bad, like when
Absolutely.
I first came here. I had my opinions.
A good place to start, for sure. There's a lot of people like you.
But I've been constantly visiting for like the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's a great place. It's growing. I can understand what infrastructure is now. It means more new restaurants.
Okay, so what I understand is that you have a list of questions. So
I do.
pop off.
Yeah. Nada's always talking about real estate.
You should
She's
know
always
the
like
most.
talking. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Honestly, you're always like, we have to rezone this. We have to rezone that. I'm just zoning out, So why do you need a mortgage broker if you can just go to the bank?
I mean, you can just go to the bank.
So why are we not just going to the bank?
Here's the thing. Like when you deal in mortgages and when you go to a mortgage broker, you have to understand that we see a variety of situations. The bank is very cut and dry, and the bank only gives you the options that they have, right? So when you deal with a mortgage broker, we have access to many lenders, many banks, and basically we compare and contrast to find you the best thing. Because the thing to remember is that every single situation is different. So it's kind of more for unique situations, and like we can really help guide you and take you through that process, as well as just basically present you with more options. Did that make sense?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It's just like, to me, it's like you can go to like the regular doctor, or you could go to the private doctor who does a whole lot more.
Yeah, it's kind of like a specialist versus like a general practitioner.
Yeah.
Samihah's actually in nursing school right now, so she like has a little bit of a health science background.
I'm not actually a dummy. I just literally just in this forte, like I'm a dummy. Like, how do mortgage brokers get paid?
This is actually really funny because I had this conversation like 2 days ago. Someone is asking how they pay for my services. But it's the same thing as like when you use a realtor, right? When you use a buying agent, you get paid from the listing side. Us, we get paid by the lender. So it actually costs you nothing to go to a mortgage broker and explore your options,
Mm-hmm. So like, why do you even need a realtor? Why can't you just buy a house by yourself?
So realtors obviously have all the knowledge, and we have the forms, and we have the connections to the people that you might need. So like mortgage brokers, lawyers, home inspectors. There's a lot of professionals that are involved in a real estate transaction that you might not think about. The other thing is that, not to mention liability. So like if you do want to purchase a house by yourself, that would just consist of you getting a lawyer and representing basically yourself on that front. But realtors
possible.
actually have insurance
Just messy.
for it's possible. It's just not gonna go smoothly. We're basically like transaction coordinators.
Yeah.
And also
Like a wedding planner instead of planning your own
yeah,
wedding.
like we'll send you the listings, we'll send you the houses. We might even have off-market opportunities that you would have never been privy to before, and it's just easier. And
It's
when
like
you work with a
getting-
realtor, it's
Yeah.
free, like as a buyer. So you might as well just
It's
make someone do
services.
all your bitch work.
It's services.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
basically like
Yeah.
going to get your like waxing done instead of waxing yourself.
No, totally.
Well, I think
Yeah.
one of the biggest things too is like, how do you know how much a house should cost?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any of those resources, right? Like, as realtors,
Would I
we
be able to
subscribe-
figure it out?
No.
I mean, you could try.
yeah.
But it's really hard. Like
Yeah.
we have all the negotiating skills.
Yeah.
We have all the knowledge that it takes to know what can make a deal happen. We can actually communicate with the other side. Whereas when you do it, it kind of gets a little sloppy because you don't know what you should and shouldn't say, which plays a huge part in negotiating too, is like withholding information. Buyers just blah. Like I have to tell
Yeah.
all my buyers, like when we're in a house, like don't say anything. There might be cameras here.
Well,
They
the
don't even think of
craziest
that.
stuff. Like, I dealt with for sale by owner. So if you don't know, that's just someone who tries to sell their house on their own accord. They don't use a realtor or anything like that. And so I remember being on that side. The craziest thing was how much she would lie. And she would lie about things that I had access to, right? Like, she told me she bought the house originally for way more. She was going to lose money on it. I can see sold data. I can see exactly what you bought it for. So sellers are liars as well. And they're going to take advantage of the fact that you don't have access to that information, right?
Snakes.
Yeah. So you got to be careful. It's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on the buy side anyways. The sell side is a little different. The sale side, you actually pay the realtor, so I can see why more people on the sale side might try and like skip the realtor part, but there's way more benefits to using a realtor than not.
Well, yeah, statistically, if you look at it, you will sell your house for more if you
Yeah.
list with a realtor, more than even you're paying in commissions. So it
It
I
makes
mean,
sense.
as long as you have a good realtor. But so it does pay for itself, sort of thing.
Okay. So next question. Would you guys like, tell your buyer to like buy an apartment or a house?
I would tell my buyer to look at everything that they can afford.
Yeah, because that's not always an option.
Yeah.
for a
What
lot
if
of
it was
people.
like money's not an issue?
Buy a house.
Yeah, house for sure.
Why?
Land.
Because land, it's worth more. It appreciates
But then you have
faster.
to do more work
Totally.
Yeah,
for the land.
but land is like a tangible asset that's always going to carry value and it's always going to appreciate.
What is appreciation?
Appreciation.
Because you don't appreciate me enough.
Appreciation is the amount that a house goes up in value.
Or like, yeah,
And that
is
you gain.
So what's depreciation?
The opposite.
The opposite.
Is that an actual
When it
word or
goes
did I
down.
make that up?
no, you can have
Because
depreciation.
you depreciate
Yeah,
me.
you can have
all
like
the
depreciating assets.
Okay. What's the biggest mistake people make with mortgages?
The biggest mistake I see for sure is rate blindness. So people will go in, because the thing is, when you get a mortgage, there's a lot of little nuances involved in it and a lot of things that people don't understand. I think people take the one aspect of a mortgage, which is the interest rate, which is the easiest thing for them to understand because they think lower rate, more money saved, right? But that's not necessarily always the best thing to do, right? There's always a trade-off where when you go lower rate, you usually have worse prepayment options. Mortgage might not be portable. It's going to be really hard to get out of.
Does mortgage might not be portable mean?
Like a portable mortgage is when you can move your mortgage over to another property. So like say I
Okay.
have a mortgage on property A and then I want to buy property B, but my interest rate and my terms on this mortgage are really good. I'm going to want to move it over to the other one. Like say, for example, interest rates skyrocket. I'm going to want to take this and move it to another property.
I did not know you could do that.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of flexibility really not a lot of stuff in there. Like right now, what we're seeing is that RBC has really, really competitive rates. But if you look at RBC's prepayment options, it's only 10% per year on principal. So it's a lot lower than many other lenders we could get you. Yeah. So it's just, don't go in with rate blindness. Like really actually put in the effort to consider everything that you're signing. Like look at your amortization, just look at everything on that freaking commitment letter, and don't get blindsided by the rate, because it usually bites you in the butt way later.
Interesting. I've been hearing that there's a lot of fraud in the mortgage industry, and people are getting caught more often now. So do you want to give us the tea?
Yeah, there is a lot of fraud in the mortgage industry. And I think part of the thing is, like in Alberta, we are self-regulated. So that gives us a lot more responsibility. But that also means that the due diligence and the risk is a lot lower. So it is kind of easy to get away with stuff like that here. It's a really big thing. Like if you ever keep up with the Toronto market, where there is a lot of illegal mortgages and mortgage fraud that goes on. And people basically, in most forms, it's document fraud, because people can't qualify on their own merit, because obviously in places like Toronto, you have really high home prices. So it does go on, and it's not great, because I think people forget that we have these qualification standards usually for a reason. So like if you look at GDS and TDS, which I touched on a little bit in other episodes, there is a certain amount of debt that we're allowed to qualify you to have. And when that debt does get really high, it might not seem like a lot, but once you take into consideration the fact that, you know, we're using your gross income, so your income before taxes, once you take away the amount you pay annually in taxes, and then internet, utilities, like all of those little subscriptions you have, it doesn't actually leave you with that much afterwards. So sometimes what can happen is these mortgage brokers can get caught, because people can go into foreclosure, because it really depends to what extent you're doing it. A lot of mortgage brokers that do it will kind of keep it on the safer side, is what I've heard. It can be really risky, especially because of all those things that get taken away, right? So it can lead to foreclosure and really dangerous things like that. And then when it goes into foreclosure, they're going to blame their broker, because their broker put them in that situation.
Good thing I'm not in mortgage brokering, because I would do some stuff like that.
Yeah. And people ask us like to do stuff like that too, right?
I would have done
all
it
the time.
all the time.
In
Yeah.
high school, like if I ever got a bad grade, I would like take a little, like a print out little A's.
Yeah. And, like,
And then I would like tape it onto my report card, and then I would go to the print shop, and then I would
to your
print
dad.
out
Oh my God.
a whole new report card.
Doing the most to
Yeah, I
scam.
know.
And the Asian ladies would be looking at me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, shush, shush, shush. Like, so I would probably do some shady stuff like that if I was a mortgage broker, but I'm not. So I would never do this in healthcare, though.
Thank God. Thank God. Thank God.
I usually turn people away, because like in terms of me doing stuff like that, it's not worth your license, right?
Yeah.
Like you get your license taken away, it's like it's very difficult to get back, especially
not
for
cute.
fraud. Like we don't have any coverage for fraud or anything like that.
But like, what would you say, like, ethically for like people that just can't qualify because of, I know I've heard of like some stories, you know, of like people that can't qualify because like other people are doing it so often that they're taking up all the houses, and now like it's really hard to get a house.
Yeah.
Well,
for like
those
people that are
houses
actually,
will
you know,
most likely come up for foreclosure for cheaper. So
Yeah.
they can snag one of those
When
when they're ready.
Yeah, it's true. It's just qualifying is really hard. Like that's part of just what we're in. Like we're in Canada. It's expensive over here. And it is really difficult. But there are things you can do. Like I've seen people put, multiple people on a mortgage, multiple people on a property title. So you can kind of combine it in that way. If you talk to a mortgage broker as well, we can kind of plan how to structure your income, right? If you just got a new job and it's higher paying and you want to go on the A side, usually we need 2 years of history to count overtime. So that can be used to boost your income as well. Adding like a legal suite or a suite into the property, we can then count anticipated rental income. So there are ways, like sometimes I think people want an immediate mortgage and they want a house immediately when they go in for it. Instant gratification. And so, but if you take the time to plan and like even just being like a couple years ahead and knowing what to do, that's probably the best thing you could do. Game changing. And no one does it.
By the way, most of the people that I talk to about buying a house, actually I'm lying, probably like half and half. Half of them have been preparing and they know they want to buy and they know they want to use me or whatever. They're like ready to go. but half of them are like 2 years out, and that's completely fine. When you hit me up in the DMs about buying a house, I don't expect to sell you a house tomorrow. I expect to teach you how to do it in the best way possible for you and your goals and everything like that. Like, right?
Yeah. And sometimes it takes building. Like,
buy the fishing pole, not the fish.
Yeah. Like, I've had clients who, you know, like bought condos, like townhouses, like 2-3 years ago, and let those appreciate, sold that, and now some of them are in detached houses.
Yeah,
so
like,
sometimes you got to adjust your expectations and plan to be there in the future.
And that like touches on your question a little earlier about like, what would you tell people to buy, a house or a condo? It is whatever you can get yourself into, babes, because we've seen the market escape so many different people. Like we have so many case studies of people that we told it's probably a better idea to buy sooner than later, just because you are pricing yourself out of the market, seeing as how fast prices are going up right now. This was like maybe like a year or two ago. It was like a really common thing that people would just literally people were pricing themselves out of something that they want within a week. Like, it was actually ridiculous. And so you just kind of have to work with a realtor who knows kind of like the state of the market that we're in, whether you can wait and take your time or whether you shouldn't wait and just sort of go from there, you know?
Yeah. Timing the market is really difficult.
It's pointless, actually. It's actually
it's
pointless.
more time in the market, right? So that's...
Look at the amount of people that bought a condo because they couldn't buy a house, but now they bought a house because they used the appreciation from their condo and moved smart.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, let your money make you more money.
Exactly.
Totally. Yeah. Like, you would never, like, if you had $100,000 in your bank account right now, just easy numbers, right?
Buy like 100 houses.
Girl, what?
How much is the down payment?
Real estate for dummies, for real. I'm kidding. A down payment depends on the amount of the house purchase price. Anyway,
you can't find a single house for like 10K anywhere.
10K
as a down payment.
10K.
Oh, a down payment. Yeah, for sure you can.
Yeah, it's like basically like a car, right?
It's like $200,000.
It's like $200,000. Yeah. But yeah.
How much should you save up for a down payment?
So that completely depends. You can save up as a first-time home buyer, or somebody that's going to be occupying the property. You could do 5% down, 10% down. You could do 80% down. You could do whatever the hell you want. There's pros and cons to both of them. So like, if you're doing less than 20% down, you will have to pay CMHC insurance. But obviously, you know, when you put less down, then your monthly mortgage payments are going to be increased by a little or whatever. So it's really whatever your heart desires. I actually think that buying a house, especially your first property with 5% down, is the way to go. And I'll tell you why. Most of the time, as a first-time home buyer, the amount of time that it's going to take you to save up that extra 15% just to make it 20, which is what a lot of people assume that you need, you actually might do yourself a disservice, because you might just be pricing yourself out of what you would want to buy and what you would be able to buy for 5% anyways, you know?
Obviously depends, like rentals and stuff. Like Wiza was saying, if it's owner occupied, you can do 5% down. Rentals, you need 20% down. I know for us in particular, on our first property, we did 20% down, but that's just because we had it, and that basically pushed us into like the house range at that point in time. So we decided to do it all down, because in our eyes, it was better than buying a house than buying a townhouse. But most of the advantages you'll see with how much you do down is over 35% down in the property. You'll basically be touching insured rates again, so you will have really low interest rates. Above 20% down, this is actually a really funny misconception, because a lot of people think that if you do 20% down, your interest rate is lower. It's not lower. It's actually higher than if you got an insured mortgage with less than 20% down. Yeah. So you have to like weigh out the pros and cons between mortgage insurance or getting a lower rate. And a lot of times it just really depends. So if you plan on staying in a property for like a really long time, like years and years and years, actually might be more beneficial to just get an insured mortgage and do less than 20% down, pay the mortgage insurance, because you'll have access to those insured rates over and over again.
Yeah.
So you'd actually be saving more money in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get real strategic with it, but totally depends on your situation.
It totally depends.
Yeah.
But exactly like you said, like for the most part, for the situations that I see, because I work with a lot of like first time home buyers
Yeah.
or just like, you know, families, stuff like that.
So like BC has that like first time home buyers like incentive. So like is that for Alberta as well?
It's a Canadian. There's
Is it
like
It's
all of
federal.
Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like how does that work? Like what's the difference between what they have now versus before they came out with that?
Yeah, there's
a few different ones.
Yeah, there is a few different ones, and they have changed first-time homebuyer incentives quite a lot. So if you look a couple of years back, you had like the shared equity program, where if you did 5% down, the government would match you in down payment, but then you had to give them appreciation or depreciation on that 5% amount. But now we have different incentives like the FHSA, so the first home savings account, where you can put up to $8,000 a year, up to $40,000 into that, and then you can withdraw that and get some tax benefits on that. The second incentive is the home buyers plan, which is basically you can take out money from your RSP tax free, and you can do up to $60,000 per person. So if you have two people on title who are first time home buyers, you could combine that. Basically what we have right now are mostly tax incentives. Or the 30-year amortization is actually probably the biggest one for first-time home buyers.
That's what I did.
Yeah, so you could do the 30-year am, which actually lowers your monthly payments. You do pay more in interest overall, but what you could do in that scenario is, this is a really fun one that I like to do, is you can take a 30-year am and then you can actually adjust your monthly payments while you're getting the mortgage to set it to a 25-year amortization, so that when your mortgage term comes up for renewal, you'll actually be on track for the 25-year am and won't really pay any more interest. So you can kind of play around with stuff like that.
So like how would you guys say like real estate has been for like you guys as realtors? I know a lot of people say that, you know, people that peaked in high school became realtors after. So, I mean, like, you know, I've known you since high school.
So, yeah.
I've known you since high school, and like you didn't peak in high school. Like you went forward, and you did
said
some.
I did.
She didn't. I swear there was more.
In fact, her peak is still.
We thought, yeah.
Well, so just to clarify, like this is the reason why Nada's answering a lot of the mortgage questions and I'm answering a lot of the realtor questions. So I'm a realtor, Nada's a mortgage broker. She was a realtor though, so she can speak to it a little bit
Still
before
the
she
license.
she literally before she absolutely hated everyone and escaped the industry. Well, not the industry anyway.
Yeah.
For me, being a realtor has been super, like if I were to put it in a word, it would be rewarding. Like I just actually get fuzzy inside. I know it's so fucking corny, but like helping people like buy a house, like that's like such a milestone. And I don't know, I just like see people's lives change almost like when they do something like that for themselves or their families or whatever that looks like. I mean, obviously the industry, it's not for the faint of heart. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not for the weak, but that's almost why I like it. It's like it's challenging, but it's also really rewarding in the sense that, you know, I like the fact that how hard I work is solely dependent on, you know, what my success is, because I think that that's just always like I'm always like chasing that, you know.
Yeah, for
Gives me
sure.
something to do.
Are buyers ever like upset with their purchase like afterwards? Like I know you guys have your like possession days. Like I know this is supposed to be like a really happy day. Are they ever kind of like, oh, I regret this? Like
Never.
Never?
Not for me.
I haven't had anyone regret anything either. What I will say is sometimes you'll have situations where they might get into the house and something might break or something like that, especially if it was something that was on an inspection and was like working fine. It's more of an inspector issue. But sometimes little things like that, when you buy a property, like you'll usually do your showing in it and then you'll have like a few pre-possession walkthroughs. You'll be there again for inspection. So you have multiple opportunities to see the property
To see
and
if
make
you
sure,
hate it.
yeah, and make sure that it really is the one. And I think part of us doing our job properly is making sure that like
Those
when we
conditions are in there.
yeah, and when we first meet with clients, like we really get like what's a negotiable, what's a non-negotiable, and we make sure that we put you into something that has those things that's gonna, you know, keep your life what you want it to be for the next few years.
So like a lot of people that I know that have become real estate agents. Not you guys.
Who the hell do you know?
Just back home in Vancouver. They're not doing that well, you know? Like, it seems like it's a lot of cold calling and like not door knocking and stuff like that, and they're still like barely able to scrap by with like 2 houses a year. So like, how are you guys changing that up? Why are you guys doing better?
Well, first of all, I think that is a city thing. I think Vancouver is a lot harder to be successful in. I would imagine it's 10 times more competitive, and the houses are 10 times as much. Not 10, but you know what I mean. They're a lot more expensive. It's a lot harder to get into a property in Vancouver. So your friends, I can only imagine that they are searching for, you know, that unicorn who can afford a $2-3 million house. Like, a lot of my friends are buying properties right now.
Yeah.
Or condos, whatever they can sort of afford.
I thought for the longest time it was because like there's just too many realtors and there's too much competition. Like, is that ever the case?
Yep.
I think, what's the stat? 80% of realtors do like nothing.
No, it's like 90% of realtors fall off within the first 5 years of their career.
First 5 years, first like year.
Yeah, well,
Or
in the
2.
first year, the stat is really high, but I only have the 5-year one memorized.
Okay,
So I
well-
know most of them do leave the industry.
I think there's 8,500 realtors in Calgary right now, if I'm not mistaken.
They all peaked in high. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, there's a fuck ton. You could
Yeah.
there's a lot of realtors.
Yeah.
What was your question? Why are we
Like,
the
how
best?
is it like why are you guys doing better than most people? Like, if there's 80% not doing well and falling off, like, how are you guys keeping it together?
I think that we're really good at like time management and also just, you know, doing the things that you need to do to stay on track. I think what fucks a lot of realtors up is they would rather, you know, go out and drink with their friends on every weekend, or they get one commission check and they buy a Mercedes Benz. Like, you know, like, it's just like,
Like when I thought you bought.
A Lamborghini.
please. Yes, quite literally. So I think it's just like money management, time management, also like managing your skills and stuff like that. We decided to join a team that has like stellar mentorship and like accountability and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like where you place yourself in the industry, as well as how hard you're willing to work and how much you like it. Cause like we genuinely love this shit. You know what I mean? So like it's easy to do it.
Yeah. In my opinion, what made the biggest difference for me in the beginning of my career, and I can see this across the board with a few other realtors who, you know, they might take someone on the showing and then not be able to retain the client. For me, I put such an emphasis on education and learning as much as I could about houses when I started that I knew if I could manage to take someone out on a showing, they would be my client. And I was really young when I started. I was like 21 or 22. So it was really hard getting people to take me seriously. That was one of my biggest things every single time. So I just made sure that I knew more than the 50-year-old realtor who's been in the industry for 10 years. And that's
Clock it.
that's always what I'll put emphasis on in my career. And a big part of the reason that I learned that stuff was because of Sean. So Sean has a background in new home sales, and I guess like from that, like kind of almost like a construction standpoint, because you're putting these homes up. So Sean's really good at teaching you about that stuff. And then also I'm a believer in work smart, not hard. I see a lot of realtors doing the same thing, making the same mistakes. And that's also what our team does differently. Like we don't do anything without a strategy. We don't go door knock without having a script that is so beyond different from anyone else's script. Like we just go in there and make sure that everything we do has the highest possible turnover. And I think that's what we do differently. Yeah.
You're just them.
We're just that girl.
She's her.
Okay, last question. What's the weirdest thing you guys have seen in the industry? It could be anything, like crazy clients, ghosts, like
Oh my God.
like anything. The possibilities are
I had
endless.
the ghost in the showings.
That one picture of her with you guys, like where she looks like a porcelain doll.
What? Okay, wait. Let me think about this. I see a lot of weird shit. To be honest.
We deal with a lot of crazy clients.
Yeah.
Like I had
Yeah.
a guy hiding under a blanket one time during a showing.
Didn't someone die?
That was crazy. I had that guy die right before my showing in the property. He was dead in there for like 2 days. chased cats down like driveways. Like I don't
Literally.
lots of weird stuff.
All of mine is mainly just like things that I see like in houses. Like I'm just really good at picking up on like weird shit, like construction wise.
So it's true, realtors judge houses.
Oh my
that's like our
god,
main
dude, that's all I
job.
do.
Yeah.
No, but like in a mean way, like your furniture and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in my head, but like the more like, you know, like, oh, like this crack in this foundation is a little too large for like what you would want to see for the structure of your home, or like, you know, like I don't know, I'm like fuck.
You
Like,
guys ever see like something crazy, like I don't know, like bones and like the walls, or like in those horror movies?
Never seen that.
Centipede once in a
never seen
basement.
that.
A centipede is not horror.
I actually went to one house in the Northeast that I remember the front door steps had like, and you know how they have like those concrete front door steps? I guess they put like wire under it. I don't know why it like wasn't solid or whatever, but the whole thing was like broken and there was like a hole going down into it. That was pretty freaky because I was like, someone could literally just break their leg in there. I don't even know how that was like
Are there
made.
any haunted houses in Calgary?
Probably.
Like
They're
any that you
interesting.
know of? Heard
no,
of?
but
Murder
No.
houses?
Yeah, the interesting thing about Calgary and like Alberta is you don't have to disclose deaths or like anything like that happen.
That's
in houses.
crazy.
In the States, I'm pretty
That's
sure
pretty-
you have to
you
in
guys
those
are
places,
assholes.
but we don't have to. Yeah,
you know what I do? Oftentimes, well, all the time, I just Google the address so that I can see if there's like a news report or something.
Oh,
of,
that's
like, a death
crazy. Yeah.
in that house, because that's the only way you'd know. Because they don't have to
I
disclose
mean, if you
that.
think about it, people have died like all over the world. So every house is kind of like a death house. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Like I think in every, like, unless we're like up on
a
these
brand new
like
house.
apartment buildings where we're in the sky, like technically people have died everywhere.
Yeah.
Just on the soil.
People die every day, B.
Nothing haunted, thank God. But
Okay, I don't want to talk about real estate anymore.
I think we're good.
well, I want to. This is actually really fun. We should bring it into the fun banter segment again because I actually have a really funny story about how I rejected Jesus like a week ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Not Jesus.
I rejected
literally
Jesus when I
the
was born.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding.
So Ryan's grandpa unfortunately died, and he was just a phenomenal man. He fixed my car. He was just like a stellar human being. So unfortunately we were at the funeral last weekend, and I get really uncomfortable in churches. Like I do not like them, especially. So his entire family is Catholic, and I'm like Christian Orthodox. Like
Which you didn't even know.
I didn't even know they were
She
Catholic.
didn't even know.
So I asked Ryan,
And they've
like,
been dating
what his,
5 years.
Yeah, I asked Ryan, like, what his religion is. He's like, I think I'm just Christian. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So we're kind of like the same thing, whatever. Anyways, ended up finding out he was Catholic. And I was like, oh, that's kind of, I just didn't expect that, you know?
He was always giving Catholic.
Really?
Yeah. Like he's giving
don't
like
know.
Canadian, you know? I feel like Canadian is always like Catholic.
Well, I don't know. I stepped into the church, and I mean, I was kind of surprised by that, the whole thing. And the thing about Ryan is he loves to put me in situations with no context, give me no information.
It's
he
so
doesn't
true.
he doesn't give me a rundown or anything, right? So I walk into the church, and like halfway through the ceremony, they do this thing where you can kind of line up and get this, like, I thought it was going to be a piece of bread, because in my church they used to give you like bread, right? So we're all lining up. I'm looking at Ryan. I'm like, what do I do? He was like, put your left hand on top of your right hand and just go up to the priest. So I was like, okay, I do that. I do that. And then I put my hands out, and then they give me like this thing that first of all, I didn't even think it was edible. It looked like a token. It was some type of bread thing. And apparently you're supposed to put it in your mouth right in front of the priest, like right there. I didn't know that. So I took my cracker and I just like walked away and I sat down. And I just didn't want to eat it because, number one, I don't eat in the morning. Number two, I was expecting some like fresh home baked bread, and it was this thing that looked like a cracker. Like I wasn't even sure what it was. So I gave it to Ryan's sister-in-law, and I was like, can you just like put this away or something? Because I don't want to eat it. The priest was apparently looking at me the entire time. You know how the priests kind of have like their henchmen? Like those guys that like stand and like hold the crosses or like help with the ceremony. Yeah, I don't know what they're called. But one of them comes up to me in like the scariest tone ever. And he's like, you have to consume the host.
Oh no.
And I was like, excuse me? The host?
I just can see your face.
Oh my, and it was
Who's the
so
host?
embarrassing because everyone was looking at me and he's like, you have to consume the host.
Why is it called
and
a
I'm like,
host?
what is the host? Like, what is it? And he was like, if you cannot consume the host, I will consume it for
Is
you.
it Ryan's
and I was
grandpa?
Like, I didn't
Like-
even, no, it's supposed to be like, okay, so you're supposed to eat it if you were baptized, and then it's supposed to be like kind of like a part of Jesus in you, from my understanding.
Like
And
a Horcrux.
I didn't even
from
know where it
Harry
was
Potter.
at that point. So then we're all freaking out because you're not supposed to get rid of it or like anything. It's like a big thing. And so we're freaking out. We're trying to find like where it is or whatever. And then Ryan's like, what's going on? I was like, where is my host?
And he's like, who's
and
your
then,
host?
And then we figured out that like Ryan's brother ate it. And so like, that's okay though.
Yeah,
like
but so-
someone who has been baptized is just supposed to eat it and it's supposed to be Jesus. But
Have you been baptized?
I have, but not like in the Catholic sense. I don't know if it's different,
So it is dip you in the water.
I guess. But I think the difference with us is you can be dipped into any body of water. Or maybe that's for them. I don't know. But anyways,
One
I
or the
wasn't
other.
supposed to eat it anyways. Like, and I didn't know you were allowed to like reject it. Like you cross your arms like this and you can say no that way.
So like, what is that like offensive though?
No,
if you
it's
say
not
that?
offensive. It's just like, hey, like I can't take it.
So Ryan led you astray.
Ryan led
by
me astray.
telling you to go like
yeah,
this.
by telling me to go like this and take it.
Damn it, man.
And it was so embarrassing and I was so afraid and I rejected Jesus that day apparently.
God,
So
we just
And not the right way. You can reject Jesus.
yeah, not in the proper way.
Yeah, you rejected him. Like you ghosted Jesus.
But I was like, imagine if I had thrown it in the garbage or something, because they were all watching me as soon as I did. There were 70 people there. They all had their eyes on me because I didn't eat it in front of the priest, and I didn't know.
Because you
Embarrassing.
ghosted Jesus.
Yeah, I rejected Jesus. It was really
It was a sin that you committed, and Jesus, what did he do for the sins?
he forgives us.
he
Yes.
died for
He
our
died
sins.
for
Oh.
your sins. So
I think this is getting offensive.
Maybe we should talk about like Samihah for a bit. Like Samihah, just give us a rundown on your life. Like what's the craziest thing that's happened to you in the
craziest thing
few
that's
weeks?
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. That's better. Because if
Yeah.
we were talking about the craziest thing that's ever happened to me, I don't think I can talk about that.
Ah.
But in the last few weeks, I don't know, I've gotten scammed like I don't know, 3 times this year. So
The thing is, you think she learned the first time. Can we like break down the scams? and how
okay.
you
So like the first time I got scammed this year, I love Facebook Marketplace. I'm a Facebook Marketplace like god. Like, well, clearly not, but like I just love it. I love buying second-hand things from
You live in
people.
Vancouver, like you need
No,
to.
everybody's selling everything. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, I just like I do things at the last minute all the time, and I'm like, fuck, like I need something for like this event, and I don't have anything. I don't want to go to the mall. They won't have it. I can't online order it right now. Let me go on Facebook Marketplace. They're always gonna have something, and I feel like I'm a good enough size that like. I mean, like I could be smaller, but like,
a lot of people are your size.
a lot of people are my
Yeah.
size. So like it's not that hard. Anyway, so like I think I put something up. Yeah, and somebody wanted to buy it. Oh my god, it was that stupid like Halloween costume, like that blue. I hate that Halloween costume. I was getting so many messages and they were all just like spam. They like it was like a picture of this woman wearing the costume instead of like the actual costume because it just looked dinky in the back, right? And then these guys like thought I was the woman, so they keep like, do you need a sugar daddy? Like, no, I don't fucking need a sugar daddy. I just want to sell my outfit. Anyway, so this one lady, I did not check her profile. She's like, oh, I'm ready to buy it. I was so excited to sell that outfit. I didn't give a shit. I was like, take it for anything, like please. And she was like ready to buy it right away. I was like, okay. And she's like, okay, what's your e-transfer? And I was like, Samihah, whatever.com. And then she's just like, okay, it's not working. Like, she's like, oh, check your email if it like came through or not, like, or like go through it, right? And I was like, okay, so then I'm going through it, and it looked so similar to like my banking app, right?
Yeah.
Super similar. So I'm going through it. I'm like, this is taking longer than usual. Like I've done it before where you like there's no I think it was because like she's like, oh, auto deposit's not working. Manually do it. And I was like, okay, so then I'm manually doing it all. Like I've done it before, but it's just like not working. And I'm like, this looks kind of suspicious, you know? Like, and I'm like looking at it as it's happening. And I'm like, I I feel like this is a scam. And the thing is, I always figure it out like 1 second.
While it's
One
happening.
second after I've already done it. You know, I've just sent it. And I'm like thinking, like, this is kind of weird. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like not thinking about it. And then I get this like bank charge, right? And it's like,
For how much?
it was a cash advance.
Oh my
It
god.
was a cash advance because I had no money.
Okay, this is the funniest part.
Like, they got into my bank account just to see I had like no money in there. And, like
steal.
$0 to steal.
No, but that scammer thought they locked in.
No, they were like so fucking excited, you know? And I ruined their day. I'm like, girl, you're broke, I'm broke too. Like,
I saw you doing this too.
yeah, like what? How
me a
teach me your ways? What is this link? I need to send it out to some people. So that was.
Wait, can you tell me like how much of a cash transfer?
I think it was like $500 or $1,000 that they were trying to take out.
Yeah.
Right.
God.
And the thing is, my bank is so clutch because I'm so poor all the time. Like they put funds on hold. They don't even release it into my like debit account. You know, they don't even release it into my debit account. So like all that cash advance just got put on hold. So like they couldn't even use it. And I saw that shit. I clocked it. You know, like I clocked it right away. And then I locked everything, canceled all my cards, got a whole new bank account. It was like a whole day thing. It was like super upsetting. But I was like, you know what, whatever. This time I feel like I was more fast. Is when Wiza got Instagram hacked.
Yeah.
Wiza gets Instagram hacked. And you know what's funny? Nada literally told me that Wiza got Instagram hacked.
She knew.
I was just not paying attention. I'm going through Instagram. Wiza's posting like Lamborghinis. I'm like, damn. So here's the thing. I was on FaceTime with Nada when she's like, Wiza got a new car, and I think she was like joking.
Yeah, I was
she was
joking.
joking
Like,
when
Wiza
she
got a
said that.
Lambo.
But then she does this thing where she Irish exits the FaceTime calls all the time. So that's all she's like, Wiza got a new car, and then she exits. I'm like, damn, okay. I'm on Instagram. I see Wiza posted a new car. I'm like, damn, this is Wiza's new car, I guess, right? And I'm like sending it to my boyfriend, and I'm like, look at Wiza's new car. It's a nice car. I didn't bother reading the Coach Natalie, whatever the fuck was like training Wiza. Like, I didn't. And you know what? Here's the thing. You guys are at this office. I'm like, there's probably a Coach Natalie here. Yeah. There's a Coach Sean Getty. Like, 100%. So I didn't even think about it. So I don't know. I was like, damn. I know, like Nada said, like Wiza's family got money. I didn't know they got money like this. You know, like a Lambo
like a
at
microbiologist.
This time. Yeah,
I was like, he has a PhD.
So then I was like, okay. And then I like wake up at like 8 in the morning. I'm not a morning riser, sunrise girly. Anyway, so like I got this like message from Wiza, like, oh my god, I just did this modeling thing. And I'm like, yeah, I could see that. I could see Wiza being a model. I didn't even take into account that like, you know, she's like just got hacked, right? I was like, yeah, Wiza's a little short, but you know, I got it. She got it.
Like
I
a face model, like a
I was like
commercial
literally like, no,
model.
they're doing something new. This is diversifying. So like I'm like,
Diversity hire.
And then I'm like, I got you, girl, right? I'm like, okay, I clicked the fucking link.
Appreciate
I'm
you.
looking at it, like, what is this? They're like asking me to put some stuff in. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
But then I was like, wait, just clicking the link is like what got. Was
You
it
fucked
that?
up last
yeah,
time.
was it like? Is that how you got fucked up?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, so I clicked the link now,
Yeah.
and now I didn't fill anything out, but I was like, shit, what's gonna happen? I'm like Googling everything. I was too scared to tell Nada that I was like about to get hacked again. So like, I call her. I'm like, yo, so like, Wiza got hacked, right? And she's like, yes. And like, so I got a message. She's like, don't click anything. I was like, so here's the thing. I clicked something like an hour ago.
I feel like I'm Samihah's dad sometimes when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah, but then I started like restarting my phone. I think I
I was, like,
reset the
do
whole thing. I
everything.
like
Yeah.
backed up my whole phone. I like cleared it
so
all.
The good news is when it happened to me, we did the most, but it was
Yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
just did the most with you before it was too late.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was supposed to go on a trip that day. I was super late. Like my boyfriend's on the phone. Like, where are you? Where? I'm like, bro, I'm getting hacked again. Like, I need to-
Welcome.
yeah. Okay. And then the last time, this is probably the most embarrassing of them all.
It's bad.
Because this is like there were so,
so, like,
many
kinda.
warning signs. Okay, I'm still.
live. Can we take a minute?
Okay, so I'm going to this wedding. Wiza doesn't even know this story. She's gonna die. I'm going to this wedding, and it's an Indian wedding. I am half Indian, but like, you know, I just didn't have the clothes. I feel like all my clothes are super outdated, and I wanted something new. And then I was just like on Instagram, and there's these cute clothing like stores, these Indian clothing stores from India, and you get them globally shipped to you through their WhatsApp numbers.
Yes, of course.
Right? And like, I was like, is this shit real? Like, I'm Redditing. I'm doing everything. I'm like, I'm not gonna get scammed ever again. Like, like, I'm just like so on the dot, like with everything. I'm like, I'm never getting scammed again. I'm like Googling everything. I'm like, is this a real place? I'm looking through Instagram stories. I'm checking like profiles of like, you know, the tags. Like, are these real people? Everything looks legit. I'm super happy with this. I'm like, I'm confident. You know, I'm like very confident. So like, they don't accept messages in their DMs. They want us to like WhatsApp them. I'm WhatsApping this number and I'm talking to them. And I was like, hey, like, this is your store, right? And it's just like, I think WhatsApp like automatically says like Indian fashion designer. Like, it doesn't even have like the actual like store's name, like the Instagram profile name. I'm like, so do you have this outfit? And they're like, yeah, it's 8,000 rupees. I'm like, dude, that's like $120 Canadian. That is so much cheaper than like the shipments you get like in store here in like the Indian markets. I'm like, okay, how do I send you the money? And like, I know there's like this app called Wise that like I've used before where you can like do like international money transfers and stuff. He's barely speaking English to me properly, first of all. And he's like, you need like a UPI. I'm like, what the fuck is a UPI? And then I think it's like the code or something to like transfer it, right? I'm like, oh, I don't think it's gonna work. I can't figure it out. I just gave up. You know, I was like, it's too much work for me. And he's just like, no, ma'am. Like, we were gonna figure this out. He is being so persistent. That's red flag number one.
That's red flag number one.
Like, he's being so persistent. Like, I'm like, dude, they really need that. But here's the thing. I'm always stupid, but I feel like it's because I like overthink things. Because in India, when you actually go to these like stores, they are very persistent. They are like, we're not losing a customer. So I was like, okay, he's just doing that. You know, you walk away from them, they're like, okay, I'll like lower it. You know, I'm like, okay, cool. So I thought that was what was going on online. Texting him and he's like, here, I'll send you this code. I'll send you that code. And then I was like, can you send me an actual picture of like the outfit? He's like, oh, it's on our Instagram. I was like, okay, but like, do you have the outfit? He's like, dude, ma'am, it's on our Instagram. Like, and I was like,
how are you gonna send me it?
Yeah, well, like, exactly. And like, I was like, okay, whatever. There were so many signs, bro. So I finally figure out what to do. I find the code and I'm like putting it into the Wise app, and it's like, this code has been blocked. I'm like, I take a screenshot. I'm like, why is it saying this number has been blocked? He's like, oh, let me send you another one. This one's been blocked. And I'm like, why are there so many? This is kind of shady, but like, I'm like, yeah, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, no, ma'am, stay. Right? Like, he's begging me for business. I was like, I'm just such an empath.
No, you are.
I was like, fuck, man. Like, now I got myself into this. I was like, I have to give them my money now. And I was like, you know what? It's the Wise app. Like, it's not like it's actually my bank account. Like, none of that e-transfer shit's gonna happen to me again.
Sorry, what is the Wise app?
Wise is this, oh my god, is it being sponsored by Wise? Wise is this app that you can transfer money and you can change it. Like, you put in money from your bank account, so it'll be like in CAD, and then you can switch it to like USD, Australian money, like anything, euros, Chinese money, like with like almost no fee. It's like 10 cents.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like the rate is like insane. The rate is like the same rate as what you would get in like your calculator app, like if you were converting. Like, there is like no extra charges. It's the cheapest way. So I did that. I transferred him the $120, and I was like, oh my god, my outfit's coming. I was excited. Even though like 3 times it's like, this might be a fraud. And I was like, no. I checked the Instagram stories. It's not a fraud. It's the real store. Then he sends me another message. He's like, ma'am, now we're gonna have to ask you for like the tax. So you're gonna have to send another $9,000, but within 30 minutes, or sorry, 9,000 rupees, which is like another $170. But within 30 minutes, it will be transferred back to you. And I was like, what?
That's how you know.
I was like, what does that mean?
Why would I have to do that?
I was literally thinking that too. I'm like, why does that? She's like, no, ma'am. Like, I swear, like in 30 minutes, like it'll be sent back to you. And up until this point, I'm thinking this is a real guy and everything. I'm like, okay, fine, I guess. And then I sent him another 9,000 rupees. So I think the total, I lost like 240 CAD.
Oh my god.
Right? And I'm like, okay, so like, when are you sending my, like, it's been 30 minutes. Like, when are you sending my money back? He's like, oh, like, we'll do it in the morning. I was like,
Good morning. Isn't it
I was like,
morning
no,
for you?
No, I was like, you said it in the next 30 minutes. What do you mean? And like, I'm like, and then like I realized after a minute I'm getting scammed. And then I'm like, dude, there's so many reviews on these people. Like, how are they scamming? Like, are they really like assholes? So then I go back on the Instagram account and I'm looking at their numbers in their profile, their bio. And I'm looking at the number I texted. It's not the same fucking number. And I was like, wait a sec. And I'm like, what number did I text? I'm like, where did I get this fucking Indian number from? Because I couldn't have gotten all those numbers from nothing. I was like, I swear I copy pasted it. I copy pasted it from the comments. It was an account that was mimicking the real account. And it was like, oh, here's our WhatsApp number. Because on Instagram, it's hard to copy. You can't copy paste anything from the bio. And I was like way too lazy to like type it all out. So because of that, I lost like $300
because of the one
Yeah.
second.
And then this guy's like, ma'am, another amount of money is due and we will send it back to you in 30 minutes. This time I was like, no, send me my money back right now, you fucking bitch. I know you're a scam artist, right? And he's like, what are you talking about, ma'am? And I'm like calling him, like, pick up, bitch. Like, I'm like, give me my money back. Because I realized these are scammers. And then it kind of just ended with me being like, an asshole. You know, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll never get my money back, but I can be a fucking asshole to them. I was just like, I was so mad. I can't like do damage. I can't threaten them like, oh, I'm gonna get the police. Who are they? I can't find them. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do some emotional damage instead. I was like, you know what? I'll forget about this $300 CAD one day, but for you, that's gonna feed your entire puny little family. This is the best day of your life, isn't it? Because you just made 300 CAD, right? You just like, just feed your whole family. Why don't you? I was like,
He's like, yes, that is what I will do.
yeah. I mean, you know what? You're always,
In fact, already did it.
yeah, and you're gonna just. This is all you're getting. You know, you have no stable income. You're poor. Like, I'm poor. Like, just remember that I had no money in my bank account. No, like my entire like Canadian privilege was coming out right then because I was like, "You're an asshole. I'm gonna be a bigger asshole." He never replied. He never blocked me either, which is really brave.
Because he's
Should
gonna
we
try
call him?
again. He's
Should we
gonna
call him?
tell you that you need
If I had a
10,000
phone,
rupees.
we could. But yeah, so that was the third time I got scammed this year.
So, Samihah, in summary, what have you learned from today's podcast?
Stay away from anything to do with the internet because
That's not for the
no, because I keep
podcast.
for the podcast. Okay, I've learned about appreciating myself.
She walked out of here with no info. She heard it, but she
Well,
didn't
I know
retain it.
other people have heard it. I know other people think just like me. They hear all these big words and they're scared. But you know what?
How are you going to appreciate yourself? How?
by buying a house,
By?
by saving money.
By?
Not
What
getting
are you gonna
scammed
open?
anymore,
Not getting
so you
scammed
can't
anymore.
have
What are you
like-
going to open? What type of account are you going to open as a first-time home buyer?
FHSA.
Yes!
So we did our job.
Yes. And
That's
then what?
one. And then I shall put in doesn't have to be a 20% down payment because it doesn't have to
Okay.
You live in it.
be. Yeah.
No, it's okay. That's
You know
all.
what?
That's
She
pretty
doesn't
much all.
have to learn
And then
because she
we'll
has
take it
me.
over from
Yeah,
there.
I have them.
She doesn't
You
learn
guys
because
don't.
yeah.
You guys need to keep rewatching this video over and over again for it to like retain in your head.
Yes.
So
And to
for
continue
it to
watching
clock
future
in.
podcast episodes. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
keep watching their podcast. I know I don't. I'm just kidding.
She's not kidding.
You're such a bitch.
Like, Samihah's really book smart, and she retains information. Like, this girl can cram the night before truly and still get an A.
Yes. I have a crazy memory, and that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah.
it doesn't seem like it right now.
I have crazy memory visually, auditory, like in one ear, out the other.
And that's fair enough.
I mean, you
Yeah. And I'm
retained
kind of deaf
quite
in
a
one
bit.
ear too, so
Oh no.
She lost her music.
yeah.
Was this helpful for you in your future home purchasing abilities and just
I might just become a real estate agent.
or that
Yeah.
or that
Honestly, this was
be
eye-opening.
8501 of Calgary, the 8,501st realtor that we have.
Yes.
Much needed.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much for
guys.
flying all the way here for us.
Just for
Not
them.
Sunny.
Not my boyfriend that lives here.
Right.
So after she says pod, we say cast all
Say
together.
cast.
Yeah.
Like a cunt.
Okay.
You got to say it cunty.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Two Keys in a Pod. We will see you next time. No, I'm actually unwell.
To be fair, she followed directions. She did. She like did it too well.
Oh my god, why are you funnier than me? Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Two Keys in a Pod. We will see you next time on Two Keys in a Pod. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. We will catch you next time on Two Keys in a Pod.
Cast. Jesus Christ.